Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Luke, and I'm joined by friend of the show, the Wolverine, Ethan Goss.
Well, hey, what's up? I was just asking for a beer.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Good. Well, I should have said the victorious Ethan Goss. It's great to have you back on the show. I really do mean that you're a friend of the show. You've been on this show now, probably the most of any guest I've had. So congratulations to that. Let's talk.
Do I win an award for that or something? Or
sure, it's in the mail. Sure, it's in the mail, buddy. Sure. So let's talk. Obviously, you had an incredible finish, snapped a 2-fight losing streak, which, to call it a losing streak is a bit rough. And I probably shouldn't even call it that because you fight the best. You fight tough. One loss was for the 247 Fighting Championship belt, and the other loss was for a very tough Ethan Hayes. So talk about how the fight went, talk about your mindset, your preparation, and obviously congratulations to you for your dominant submission victory Saturday.
Yeah, like I said, it was kind of a sweet one, especially because, that's exactly how I lost the last time. I was able to get it done quicker than it was when I got caught in it. So that was cool too.
Minute, right?
Yeah, for me, it was like I think it was like a minute and 10, minute and
10. Okay.
Something around there. But yeah, I mean, it was just, I don't know, going into the Hayes fight, like I knew I put a lot of pressure on myself. Going into the Jesus fight, there was already pressure with it being 5-minute rounds. There was, we had a world title on the line, you know what I mean? So it was a little different then too. But this one, I just kind of, relaxed. I didn't really, the whole camp, like I said, I didn't focus on I don't want to say not focus. I didn't think about the fight. I didn't really think about much, not until like I got closer to the time, but it wasn't that I wanted to. It's just, I know I'm getting closer. I start thinking a little bit more about it. But for most of the camp, I didn't even think about the fight. I looked up, the opponent when we got started, and I didn't really go back and look at him until maybe a week or two before the fight, and then I went back and looked again at some things. But yeah, and that was one of the things Coach Ray Ross was saying to me. He was like, man, just no pressure on this. Just, go out and have fun. Just go out and do what you like to do, have fun, and whatever happens is going to happen. And that was kind of the mentality I had that went into it. And, while we were at the show, I made myself stay in the back. I had two teammates on the card, Monte and obviously Cam, who won the bantamweight title that night. But I didn't want to give myself that nervous energy of watching the fights. And, I picked that up from Coach Darren, who was telling me that he would make Caden leave, the wrestling venues and stuff when he was getting ready to wrestle. And he's like, everyone loves their teammates and want to see the teammates go good. He's like, but today's about you. You got to worry about you. And so I kind of took that and thought, you know what, I'm gonna try it. It's different. I'm always out there, watching the fights or on cage side or something, screaming, yelling, all that stuff. So that's exactly what I did. I stayed in the back. I wanted to go out and see Cam. I wanted to go out and see Monte, but I just, it was like, all right, tonight's about me. So I was in the back and people were coming back in saying, oh, this happened or that happened. Or I'm like, oh, all right. Awesome. They were coming back. I heard one person come back and say, man, Cam's dominating. Another one come back, Cam's mauling him. I'm like, all right, great. Good. I guess I ain't missing much.
Well, I think it's always nice. I mean, you're 12 fights into your pro career plus a bunch of amateurs. I mean, you're very experienced pro, but even what you're saying, you're picking up how it works better for you, and obviously listening to your coaching. And I can see, I mean, you're a great teammate. Everybody from Gorilla House Gym are great teammates. I saw Sid Ross there she was cornering and being involved. And she would have been fighting for a title herself if her opponent hadn't gotten hurt. But I think part of being a good teammate is you got to be the best focus on yourself. So that way you're there to be able to, in the gym, help them while you're also focused on your career, which is great. Now, you had mentioned your opponent being, you looked him up. From what I had looked up on him, I guess he was known as kind of a wrestler background. Did that play into your game plan? And given the fact that you caught him in a guillotine, it's interesting because, well, we'll walk through that. I'm going to pause on that. Let's start on, did you know he was a wrestler, and did that change the way you prepared for him? Then I want to talk about the setup for your submission.
No, I knew he was a wrestler. I knew that was his background. You know, I seen a couple of his fights, especially like he didn't have anything too recent. So everything I did see, was from a few years ago. I mean, I'm talking, 5-6 years ago. And then I was able to find his most recent fight. Props to him. He was destroying the kid that he was fighting. And he just, made a mistake, slipped up, got caught in a choke. But he was, I think for 2 rounds of that fight, he was mauling the kid. But he was a Division I state champion out of Wisconsin. And he also competed in the Dapper Dans, which, the Dapper Dan tournament, which, now I think that tournament's called Team PA versus Team USA. It's not called Dapper Dan anymore.
I remember when it was called Dapper Dan. Yeah, that was
to make the Dapper Dan tournament, it was, you were a top-notch dude. You were a stud. Like, you were one of the best guys in the country to make that tournament or to make that match. So we knew, like I said, I knew he was a wrestler coming in. And but that did not scare me any way or another. You know what I mean? When you train with an undefeated 2020 Pennsylvania state champion, you know what I mean? On a daily basis, your wrestling gets a little better. And Darren is a phenomenal wrestling coach because he coaches his own kids, and his youngest just got runner up for the state championship.
I was gonna say Caden's younger brother is just I think he's 10 or something. He's just
he's 14 now, and he got runner up this year, and only losing to a kid named Bo Bassett, who's a absolute phenom. I mean, he just made the world teams going to Hungary or wherever it's at to wrestle in the Cadet Worlds, and that's the only kid he lost to. But working with him and working with Cam every day, because Cam wasn't the greatest, folk style wrestler, but his MMA wrestling is just unreal.
Yeah, his positioning,
you all got to see that.
Is incredible. Yeah, we're gonna learn from him a little bit later about winning the belt, but using wrestling, it's always about adapting wrestling to it. But talking about Caden a little bit, I think Caden's definitely taller than Cam. He's a pretty good frame for you, right? He's like a long.
Caden is size. Caden is almost. I'm a little heavier than him.
But length, right?
Yeah, height wise, like we're almost identical build. Caden, he's about the same height as me. We're about the same length. Caden's an athlete. He's got fast hands. He's just got natural power. You know what I mean? And if anywhere needs work for him, it's a stand-up, but a stand-up's already.
It's hard to say that when he had an under minute knockout. Of course, we wish him the best, Caden Cassidy, as he transitions to George Mason College for wrestling. Now, here we go to the setup for the guillotine. Now, I've heard it called like a power guillotine. But I'm giving you, I will call it the Wolverine guillotine if you want me to, because you did a guillotine from the front, but then you rolled your hand this way. Gable grip would be this, but then you rolled to like a side grip up and over and got him this way. What do you term that? Modified or?
I don't really know what to call it. I can tell you where I found it. I don't know if you remember back in the day, it was one of the Ultimate Fighters.
Okay.
There was a guy on there named Cody McKenzie.
Oh my goodness, the Alaskan guy.
Yes. He's kind of a Fruit Loop, right? Yeah, long hair. He would finish everybody with a guillotine. If you would watch, when he would go to a guillotine, he would come under. Okay. And when they would fight for the guillotine, a lot of times they would grab the hand that wasn't around the neck. Well, he would let go of that and he would fold his wrist upward, like lay his hand
press,
on
right.
his neck. Well, then he would come up and grab his hand. He would either grab it like this or go like this, like praying hands, and he would fold it.
Wow.
Like that, which is what, when I re-gripped, I come here
and then rolled over.
and then I pushed.
And I remember seeing the side. I didn't
Yep.
realize you got, yeah. I
That
actually remember that season really well. He didn't,
Yep.
Mackenzie didn't do well.
No, I think he won like 1 or 2 fights.
Yeah, in the UFC, but his Ultimate Fighter run was fantastic. And I think most of his finishes in the Alaskan League had been by guillotine and a scrappy, I think he was a wood chopper. I think he was like a tree cutter. I mean, he was just a great guy, and best wishes to him. I think he's now obviously no longer in the UFC, but well, that type of modified guillotine, because I think what's interesting is you were not that much taller than your opponent when you were caught in something similar. I thought it might be the height difference because Hayes was quite a bit different, but you made it work to a guy who was basically straight on. Have you practiced? You didn't have a lot of height on him, but yet you still finished it standing. Is that something that you've worked in that position or mainly on the ground?
I've always like the guillotines and the front headlock stuff's always pretty natural to me.
Oh, cool.
Because I had basically a lifetime of wrestling. And I always, I like the front headlock position and just that position because there's so many options.
Sure.
Dars, your anacondas, your Peruvian neckties, your your arm in guillotines, arm out guillotine, you know what I mean? There's so many options, but I think they said his like Gaffney's height was 5'8", but I didn't think he was 5'8". I thought he was more like 5'6", 5'7".
He was definitely
5'8".
I'd say a couple inches shorter than you when you guys lined up. He was kind of that thick, stocky wrestler.
Yeah, he looked like I was anticipating him to be like freakishly strong. I figured he was going to have functional strength because of wrestling his whole life. You know what I mean? Having a wrestling background, but and I'm not taking anything away from him, but I don't know if I maybe overthought that too much. But I know when we got into the clinch, it felt like there was a big difference between who was stronger between him and I, and it felt to me like I had almost was like twice as strong as him. As dropped in on the leg. But as far as like him being a wrestler and all that stuff, I knew he was going to come to me. So, and I knew it wasn't going to take long for him to come to me. And I think what really made him want to engage was when I let that high kick go. Let the high kick go, and I kind of didn't set it up the way I wanted to, but I went over his head. And I like seen a change of look in his eyes whenever that happened. And I also made him miss a couple inside leg kicks to where, I had the range right off the bat. So I knew, and I wanted to engage, but I kept telling myself, just be patient, be patient. And he came forward and I let go a 2-piece just out of reaction. It was more like a muscle memory reaction. And I knew I hit him clean with both shots. I remember I didn't see where the first one hit, the left cross hit, but I do remember watching the right hook hit him in the temple as he was trying to come in. And, it wasn't until after the fight and the coach come in the ring and he was like, did you bust him open? And I seen the blood in him and I said, I don't know. And I looked over and his eye was all welled up and bleeding. And, so like I said, it was matter of just patience. And because I knew he was going to come to me eventually. So I knew I wasn't going to have to really go looking for it. But, also for me, it was to keep my feet moving the whole time and not plant my feet and give him something to get under.
Sure.
So that's why I said, I mean, I was just on,
You were.
your good days and you have your bad days. And that's the hard part, to being consistent in there every time. But I was just on that night, my feet were moving, everything was moving. I had the range, I had the distance. I fired my shots off hard and crisp. And as he shot in on the shot, I dug around the neck a little bit when he switched to that single leg. And I always did very well with defending the single leg. on that bouncing when he's turning. I always seem to have pretty good balance. But I kind of gable gripped underneath like a short choke, and I forced his back of his head into my chest.
Right.
I started to lift him up a little bit, but I knew there was no way I couldn't finish him there. It was more or less to, one, either get him off my leg, or two, switch the grip and finish. And a big part of me wanted to let go and keep going, because like I haven't had a full fight since 2017.
Yeah.
So I haven't went the distance in a long time, going on 4 years. But a big part of me wanted to get some fight time, but another part of me was like, no, I need to win. I don't.
A win's a win, baby. Yeah.
I just need to win.
Well, and it really does show, you said in the last interview we had, which was an incredible quote, that you would fight, and you'd fight in both cards on the same day, because you had the morning or the early afternoon card and then the evening card. And it was funny, after the fight, you probably could have, given the fact that it was a minute, you didn't have a scratch on you. It was basically warm up.
Yeah, the words come out of my mouth again.
Yeah.
And Ryan kind of made a joke and was like, we need you for 7. I said, hey, I'm already here.
You're there. Hey, yeah.
All you got to do is ask, man.
But it's always great to see somebody with the experience you have still getting better, increasing, whether it be the stuff you did in training, whether it be how you manage your energy, the fight up, or like you said after the interview, when I interviewed you after the fight, after the interview, it was just a good day, and you need a good day. That's the thing. It's got to all come together, and it's always wonderful having you. I can't wait to see your next fight. Hopefully, I know 247's been really cranking, and they pulled off 2 events on the same day, and probably have enough fighters in August 7th to do that again, or at least have a bunch of fights. So I can't wait to see your rebound in your career continue. And I always love watching and calling the Wolverine. So thanks so much for coming on. I can't wait to see you again. And congratulations on getting that redemption win there and being back in the win column.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Definitely, I talked to Ryan, said, I'm ready for a quick turnaround. I mean, I come out of there untouched.
Yeah.
Literally did not get touched in that fight. So you couldn't have it go any better way. But I said, I'm going to take a week or 2 off, like just to reset, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Just reset your mind on stuff. And, I'll do August 7th. We want to do August 7th. Works for me, works for Ryan. Let's do it.
Well, it'll be great. I can't wait to call your fight then and have you back on the show. So take care. Enjoy your week or 2 break. Let your body and mind reset and rest. And I'll talk to you later. It's always
all right, man.
Chatting with you.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good one. All right.
You too, bud.
Bye-bye.